This week we have really great guests, but as we recorded the podcast, there was a few sound issues, so we just wanted to do a clean version so that we give the props that are demanded for our guests. And why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest, Jessica?
Yeah, first, it's going to be sitting to my left. She has been in multiple horror movies. She has hosted the AVN Awards, and she's a hilarious comedian, Rebekah Kochan.
And then our second guest?
He is, originally I met him in Sacramento. He also has a show that he does at the Improv, Comedians You Should Know. So if you follow that on Instagram, Mr. Aaron Weaver.
Wonderful. And we just wanted to say thank you guys so much for all the support you've been giving us and the listening and the views on YouTube. And we've really enjoyed doing the Liars Club. If you have any suggestions of comedians that you would like us to get on, please email us. You can email us through the Liars Club website and or through our Twitter. Thank you.
And you have not been lied to.
No, it's about to go down, though. Do you want to add anything else? All right, so I think the microphone is fixed now, so we're going to continue.
Oh,
Rebekah,
excellent.
would you start your story first?
I will. Wait, so am I going to tell them one after another?
No, you're going to tell one, and then this gentleman's going to tell one, and then you're going to tell.
Okay.
We're going to rotate it around.
Okay, got it. Okay, so I grew up in Las Vegas, right? And when I was 7 years old, well, I guess Telly Savalas used to always be known for saying, like, "Who loves you, baby?" Right?
Telly Savalas from the show Kojak.
Right.
Right.
So, but there was this commercial in Las Vegas where he would go, "Who loves you, baby? The furniture store, that's who." But I don't think that was, I assume this was a national commercial. It obviously wasn't. But when I was 7, there was this contest. It wasn't a contest, but it was like, you showed up and they were going to like pick a kid to like get to be on the commercial. You know what I mean? And like
For the furniture store? Okay.
for the furniture store. And he got to go there. And so I got to be on this commercial with Telly Savalas being like, "Who loves you, baby? The furniture store, that's who."
And how did you got picked out of how many people? How many kids?
It was like that time in Vegas, it was like probably like 15 realistically, you know what I mean? But
Right.
I was like, I can do, you know what I mean? So it was.
How old were you again?
7. And
So how did it end up? How did it turn out?
It was on. They ran it for a little bit because that was like a thing. He was always on. I don't know why it had to do with the furniture store, but he was on these commercials for the furniture store, and so it ran in Las Vegas for a while.
What year do you think this was?
Okay, so if I was 7, it would have been like 92, 91, 92.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Does he have? Do you not have any kids of his own?
Did he?
Yeah, because most furniture store commercials, you always put your own family in them.
Well, I don't even
So
know.
not Telly Savalas, but the
Always.
person that owned the
I feel
furniture
like the
store.
furniture store must have been like paying Telly Savalas to do this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like it was just a Las Vegas thing, and he was always in Las Vegas still at that time, you know what I mean? So
What was the name of the furniture store?
it was like the commercial was, "Who loves you, baby? The furniture store, that's who." So it was just a furniture store in Las Vegas.
Are you serious? Just the furniture store?
Just called the furniture store. I'm
Do you
serious.
remember how close were you to Telly Savalas? Were you like
Super close, like this close to him.
Could you smell him?
Mhm.
And
And
what he
smelled
smell?
like cigars.
He smelled like cigars.
Mhm.
He smelled. Wow.
You're gonna love. You would love that guy, huh?
No, it's just because the Comedy Store used to have like a satellite club at Universal at the old Sheraton Hotel. I don't even know if it's still a Sheraton at Universal Studios, right? And he lived in that hotel room.
Oh, he lived there.
He lived there, and so she had it downstairs and like refitted some kind of like conference room or something like that. And he would always come down, and it was around like 90, 91, 92, but I never saw him smoking. I wonder if that has anything to do, because his big thing was he used to eat a lollipop all
right,
the time.
right. That was the thing, because he had a lollipop.
I'm curious to wonder how many people that are watching actually know or remember who Telly Savalas was.
Right, I know.
don't know.
I don't
at
know.
all. Yeah.
Well, I know.
what he smells like.
I don't know watching it was just like there's certain people in Las Vegas at that time, like late 80s, early 90s, that had like this celebrity stature. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he was one of them.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a celebrity.
And
you
he
know?
was at the end of his
Furniture
career,
store.
but he was in a bunch of great movies, war movies, like iconic.
Right.
I can't think of one to name, but like a couple of big ones. And then he had a show called Kojak, and that was a huge hit in the 70s. And the reason, is I forget, because the other day we had Jimmy Schubert on, and I called him Cliff Clavin, and no one else but Jimmy Schubert and I knew who Cliff
I knew
Clavin
when,
was.
Once you said, from Cheers, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you
But
know who
you
Cliff
know.
Clavin was?
No.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, but I know
Even
what he
if I
smells
said
like.
Hulu. Cheers?
From Cheers, yeah, no.
Really?
No,
never-
I still don't know.
You never seen
I've watched a little bit. I haven't watched a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he was a know-it-all. It sat at the bar, all drunkies. So what do you remember about him specifically? That you were like,
I didn't meet him. I didn't know at all. I just know that my dad was really excited because it was Telly Savalas. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm gonna be on TV. You know what I mean?
What does he look like? Does he? I'm picturing like wavy.
No.
Wow.
No, you are so
Immediately
off.
wrong.
I was
Wavy, thick hair.
actually going to tell y'all, I only know who Kojak is because I know a guy in Pikeville, Kentucky, who doesn't have a single bit of hair. I assume anywhere. I've never seen him fully naked, but and he looks like Kojak or Telly Savalas does with like big old bald forehead and stuff. So that's everybody in Pikeville, Kentucky calls him Kojak.
So you don't remember so you don't remember anything specific about him, like impression?
He just said like, oh hey, how are you doing? You know what I mean? I remember being like, and they told me to stand there and just be like, the furniture store, that's you. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you actually had a line.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was he buff? Was he ripped?
No. He was an older man. You know what I mean? He was
He
clearly
like 70
like
maybe by that time.
Right.
Yeah,
It was just a gig, but he seemed nice. He didn't seem like a douche.
Did you get money like when you were 18 from that, or
Fuck no.
no?
Did you get money when you were 8 years old? However
Fuck
old
no.
you were?
Someone did. I didn't get
Oh,
any
wow.
money from that
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah.
Did you ever ask your parents what happened to my Telly?
I did a
Savalas
beauty
money?
pageant too when I was younger, and I was always like, I wonder whatever happened to that money too. You know what I mean?
Oh well, they just raised you, clothed you, gave you a place to stay.
Right, exactly. It was probably like nothing. You know what I mean? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I'm over it.
Okay. All right.
Clearly,
we're trying to
I'm
punch a
over
hole
it.
into
I don't
the
know.
story. That's
Yeah.
how we're asking these questions. We're not trying
Well,
to
you said
make
he
it personal.
didn't. He never smelled like smoke. So that's
Yeah, I never.
It smelled like
Because
cigars, not like cigarette smell. Not like that Vegas-y. You know how like everything when you go to Vegas it smells like that. It smelled
Right.
like old school like cigar-y smoke.
and how long did it run for?
Like 6 months.
And were you like at school? Where was everyone like, it's a furniture store girl? Were people doing that?
No, not really. No one really cared in Las
Yeah.
Vegas that time.
Yeah.
Really. In fact, there were other kids that were on commercials too. Like it wasn't that big. Like Vegas was really small in that time. That was before the huge boom. It was like a smaller community. You know what I mean? So like I knew of other kids that were on commercials.
So did you audition for that?
No, they kind of just like picked. There was an audition, but they just clearly were looking for a kid that was like not afraid to speak publicly and was like, cool with being in front of the camera and stuff like that. So.
Wow. How many commercials have you done?
That's the only one.
Are you serious?
It's the only one. I've never booked a commercial in my life in Los Angeles. That's like I've never booked a commercial.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
There you go.
Sometimes the simplest stories are the best stories, as I have been known to say on this podcast. Don't you agree?
I totally agree.
Yeah, not too flashy. It's not sexual. It's nothing crazy. Just a simple story. Thank you for your story.
Well, it is an old man with a lollipop.
Yeah, I know.
That is a little sexual.
True that.
But
True
he
that.
never did a lollipop while he was on set, or
Yeah.
Oh, he
No,
did.
for
He
sure, because
did.
that was like his thing. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
wow. Did he have
wow.
diabetes? That's a lot of lollipops.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I
don't
think he
know.
did it because to not smoke or something. But that was on his character too in Kojak, that he would eat a lollipop like that. Yeah, yeah. And you know who his daughter is? His stepdaughter was Nicolette Sheridan. The
Owner of the
actress.
Sheridan
Yeah.
Hotels.
Really?
Wow.
No, shut up.
No.
It's spelled different.
You're hilarious.
She is though. All right. So it's now your turn. Your story.
Hey, Facebook again. Do you want me to start with the true one or the?
What?
I'm just kidding.
Okay,
I'm just
okay. I was
kidding.
like,
Okay. So this happened recently, within the last year. It actually involves your friend, Mike Sella
Yeah.
from Sacramento.
Right.
So me and Mike, we did a little run through the Northwest of comedy shows. And we're going to Humboldt from Sacramento. And we're taking whatever that highway is that weaves through the woods and the mountains. I don't know what it is, but you got to take it to get to the coast from Sacramento.
Okay.
As we're driving to get to Humboldt, we pass a sign that says like tigers, big cats, come check it out. So we pass it, and then like 10 seconds after that, we're just still driving, and we look at each other. We're like, "Yo, we should go see these tigers," you know? So we like turn around, go check out this place, and it's just like this zoo of exotic animals in the middle of nowhere. And it's got tigers, it's got lions, it's got snow leopards.
Do you have giraffes?
I think it had 2 giraffes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
Have you been there?
I think I've been there.
You've been there?
Is it like a kid thing, like where and they do wine? It's for kids, but it's like a supposed to be like a safari. I can't remember the name of it, like a safari thing.
No, this was an adult zoo. No.
Are you serious?
It didn't feel like a kid theme. It felt yo, you're here to look
when
at
you
it.
pulled into the property, were they nice
Adults,
buildings?
These animals were naked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was an adult thing.
No.
I know.
Okay.
But was it nice when you pulled into the compound?
No, it wasn't that nice.
Okay.
It felt like a rich person's backyard, and they
Okay.
just like put up a bunch of fences and put animals in them.
Okay.
It wasn't like nice. It wasn't. It didn't feel kid themed too much, but it was just like, yo, we got animals that shouldn't be here, and this isn't really a zoo, but here,
Come check them out.
yeah, exactly. So we walk in, and it's basically, after we get our tickets, it's basically just fences, like baseball dugout fences, just normal fences. They're tall, but that's all there is that's separating us from these like white tigers. And we're walking by these tigers. There's one that's really cool. He like looks at us, says what up. You know, he looks like he's from Narnia. He's got like long fur. He's huge. Super cool. And then there's this one that's like 20 yards behind him, just laying in the shade, looking at us, like sort of head propped up, just checking us out. And
so a male and a female?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't look, but it's part of the adult. I think they're gonna reveal it.
You can't tell the difference between a female lion and a male lion?
No, I can with lions, but tigers I can't.
Oh, but these
This
are
was a tiger.
Oh, these were tigers. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, who the fuck is this that he can't tell the difference?
No.
I was tigers.
Yeah, it's tigers.
Pretty clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tigers. White tigers.
White tiger. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies.
It's okay. Common mistake. So we're walking by, we say what's up to the cool one, and then this other one, we're like getting close to the fence now. We're just like, you know, they like us, we're cool. And then this one from the very back, like, peeks its head up real quick, looks at us, like gets up on his legs real quick, and then just lunges from like, 20, 30 yards back. Just like 2 seconds, he's like right at us. He leaps and like hits the fence with his whole body, like up tall, like spread out, and bashes against the fence, just a fence, and it comes loose on the top. So it's like 5 feet up is where it comes loose. Like a screw falls off and it bends a little bit, and we're freaked out. So we like basically just jet back to the car, and everyone else, there's like 5 other people there, and they see it and they're all like, oh shit, we got to get the fuck out of here. Everyone goes back to their car. We get in our car and we just go, because that like, I don't know if you could imagine what it's like to have a tiger lunge at you. It felt like we were antelopes or something.
So how tall was the fence?
The fence was about 15 feet tall.
And how far did the tiger get up on the fence?
He got about 5 to 10 feet.
And he was like this on the fence.
Yeah.
And could you tell if it was a boy tiger or a girl tiger then?
Yeah. I was like, Mike, before we run, let me look.
Oh, wait a minute, wait up.
Yeah. He was pretty big.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was Mike pretty shaken up by this?
We both took off immediately. Yeah, it was terrifying.
What happened afterwards? Like, did you guys cuddle? What did you do?
We drove away quickly, and we didn't cuddle, but I think we wanted to if we were more. I think that's probably what we wanted to do.
Right.
But we're dudes.
Did you pee your pants a little?
No, I've never done that. I've never peeing. Like, I don't know. I've never gotten scared and peed. I've done other things.
How far away was your car from where you had been standing, where the tiger?
The tiger
upon
was
the cage?
Yeah, the tiger was like the first one. So the car was probably, I don't know, a football field away total.
Oh, really? And you
Yeah.
guys ran a football field length to jump back into the car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mike was in the Air Force. I do know he has a touch of PTSD. So I can see him really
Yeah.
getting the hell out of there.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking, like, what happened after?
And the other
Yeah.
tiger just like stayed there, didn't move.
No, the other tiger was chill.
And the tiger's like this motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
He's chasing and jumping on the tree.
Exactly. Yeah, I think they probably sedated the big one and they forgot to do the other one.
So where the fence came, so he jumped, you said 5 feet on a 15-foot fence.
5 to 10.
5 to 10. And
Yeah.
where did the fence come apart? You said
Around it was like a little bit above where he like landed with his paws.
Uh-huh.
So it started coming apart there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was like loose. It was like the top third of it was like hanging down.
And how much did you pay for your tickets?
Oh God, I think it was like $12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys just totally split the premises, or did you stay in the car first and wait it out, or did you immediately
We
get
split
out
the
of there?
premises, and then we found out later that the tiger got out.
That same day?
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't going to tell us that?
I wasn't done. I was
Okay.
answering the questions.
I know, you kind of seemed
You
done.
seemed like you were done.
No.
Tell
Okay.
us. What the fuck?
I'm
dude?
telling you.
That's why I'm asking these dumbass questions, because I
No.
thought your story was over.
No,
so the
girl.
tiger did get
The
out.
tiger got out, and but we were gone. I didn't see it get out. We were
Uh-huh.
gone.
Uh-huh.
We heard about it on the news later.
Did it hurt anybody?
No, but it killed like 3 goats.
3 goats?
Yeah, it was gone for like 4 days. It killed
Oh,
some
really?
farm animals.
But
yeah.
then it just came back.
No, they killed it.
Oh,
I know.
Who killed it? Like park
Cops.
ranger, cops?
Cops.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I know.
And you heard
That's
it
the-
on...
that's
you
the
cost
end.
that tiger his life.
I didn't do it.
I mean, that was Harambe
You're the one that
before
upset
the
him
internet.
initially.
What do you think made the tiger go off? He was just like, this is the day.
My feeling is
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah. Or did you guys just look kind of weak
Yeah,
or
what
something
were you
to
doing
him?
to
or-
it?
my feeling is that tiger does that a lot, and this was just the straw on the fence that broke. You know, just like the
Right.
last.
Uh-huh.
It just got too weak, that fence, and I feel like they trained it to do that for entertainment,
Uh-huh.
and
No.
that's what it felt like. 'Cause it was
Really?
immediate. It was just like,
Remember Siegfried and Roy in Vegas, right? And then was it Siegfried that got
It was
chopped up? It was
Roy.
Roy, right?
Mhm.
And you know what my favorite joke of Chris Rock's was when he talked about Siegfried and Roy? He's like, that tiger went tiger. So I'm thinking, that tiger went tiger.
tigers do.
Wow.
That's so funny.
That's so dumb, right? It's such a funny. He's so funny. Wow, that's a crazy story. And you heard it on the radio?
No, the news.
Yeah, like on the news on the radio, or did you see it on the internet or on TV?
The news. We were watching it after our show that night
Yeah.
in the hotel room.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
Really? Two
yeah.
guys after
yeah,
a
that's
show
where the story
get
falls
together
apart.
and watch the news? Are you fucking
We were
kidding me?
looking. We were searching for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look, we all start laughing like, whatever.
It's a hotel room. What do you mean?
If you go to the headliner's room, you'll get raped. You know that, right?
Oh no.
Wow. So you guys were sharing rooms because you were traveling together. Did you share a room? Or
We
did-
shared a room. Yeah.
shared a
We
room,
shared
okay.
a bed at one point.
You
Yeah.
did?
Yeah, in Portland,
You did?
and he snored a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah. All right. Any questions, Jessica?
Well, I mean, I do believe, I know that I was doing like this job where I had to go take some pictures at this place. It was just in this little town somewhere here in California. I don't even remember, a few hours away. And I came across a parrot place. And I, too, was like, oh, and turned around and went back to the parrot place. But they wouldn't let me in because they were like, you didn't call for reservations. And I was like, okay, well, fuck you guys.
Wow. You need reservations for a parrot place in a small town in
know.
California.
What are the parrots doing? Like,
I
what
know.
They have a little parrot factory, and they're all like, you know what I mean? Doing answering machine phone call messages.
We're
Or, like,
booked.
what are
We're
they
booked
doing?
for 2 years out, man. These people got to see these parrots. people coming from LA to see these parrots.
But I can relate with that urge. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To definitely stop.
Yeah, and I know there is a place up there, like it's like it's not a zoo, but it's like a kind of a safari like place.
Yeah, it
And
had safari vibes.
it's not necessarily for kids. When you pulled in, were the giraffes right when you pulled in?
No, the tigers were.
Okay, the tigers
Yeah.
were the first thing.
Yeah.
Alright. Austin, do you have any questions? Or by the way, if you guys are listening live, you can certainly type in any questions that you have to try
Or
to trip these
comments
guys
to
up.
help
Yeah.
us out.
Yeah. And any questions from you and or our audience?
Our audience is just saying that they came to your defense that it was a clear line reference when you said Narnia tiger. So, just clearing that up for
Okay.
everybody.
Yes. See, you said Narnia,
Yeah.
and that made me think of a lion.
Oh, yeah,
because
but it looked like-
a lion is in Narnia.
Duh.
It's a
I
lion
get
and
it.
witch in the
Thank you.
wardrobe.
I get it, but it
Thank
looked like
you.
a
Good looking out.
it looked like a a tiger. If a tiger was from Narnia, that's what it would look like.
Okay. Oh, backtracking now. Oh, that makes me call in the whole story.
Yeah, right?
That should not. That's perfect.
That-
That's just a bad reference.
It's either that or two guys bunking up for a gig.
Right.
All right.
And watching the news together.
Watching the news
Wink.
together. No, I mean, there's some comics that watch the news together, but I
Yeah,
get
but
what
these
he's
are
saying.
young dudes.
I know, but I get what he's saying. If you had a frightful experience like that, you would be looking for the news. Just like when we were in Sacramento and there was that big car chase, and we sat there at the sushi restaurant with the car chase on the phone, checking in. And then afterwards, we looked up what happened to the car chase, right?
Yeah, but these guys ran away from a zoo, not.
Wait.
When they
That,
were
that was
vi-
a personal experience they had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trauma comes in all sorts of forms.
Us
Yeah, but
just
as far as
watching a
you
car
knew,
chase
the-
of someone we didn't know and a personal experience we weren't having, and we still looked it up on the news.
As far as you knew, the chain hadn't broken. It just scared you guys shitless, and you took off.
Yeah,
No,
did
it
s-
broke. Like, it was coming apart.
Did anything pieces fall down?
Yeah, like a screw.
Just
where it
one
attached.
screw?
I don't know how many. It felt like at least one or two. You guys have no idea how scary a fucking tiger coming at you is. You guys have no idea. You're
She
in the
had to
basement at the
stand
comedy
next to Telly
store.
Savalas and smell cigar smoke.
Yeah, as
Your
a
story's
child.
nothing.
God.
Awesome story. Well, that's a really good. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, we
I
haven't
think-
had any animal attacks.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Where
It's a good
was the
story.
motel in relation to the escaped tiger?
Excellent question.
Yes, good question.
It was like I don't know, hour past in Humboldt on the
Yeah, what
coast.
time of? Okay. Then here's my question. So, what time of day did this happen with the tiger?
2.
So you
1,
guys
2?
after. So then, if that happened around 2, you guys only drove one more hour.
Yeah.
And is that no? But I'm saying, was it because you got to the gig, or you
Yeah,
guys
we got to the town that the gig is
from
in.
Humboldt from Sacramento?
We went from Sacramento to the place, the tiger place,
Uh-huh.
and then we went from there to Humboldt.
And do you think that is right in the middle between Sacramento and Humboldt?
No, it's closer to Humboldt.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
how far is Humboldt from Sacramento?
I don't know, 3 hours, I think, 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
She's
right.
getting real technical.
I know,
Wow.
it's grilling me.
Questions. I have questions. All right, so let's move on to Rebekah's second story. What you got, Rebekah?
So I grew up in Las Vegas.
As stated in the first story.
It was in this production of Little Abner when I was 14
Who is
years
little
old.
Abner?
It's this musical. It's an awful musical. But I was in it because that's what I wanted
It
to
was
do.
a comic strip that they turned into a musical,
Yeah.
right?
So
Oh, really?
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it probably still runs, I'm sure, right? It's like it's a like rustic, like they're in
Yeah,
the
but
Appalachians
I think
or
it's
something.
but it hasn't been around forever. I mean,
Okay.
like this music, it didn't do well on Broadway. Don't ask me why they wanted to do this musical. So, I was in this musical, and this woman who did these dinner theater shows on the Las Vegas Strip came to see. I was 14 at the time, and she was like, "Oh, little girl, you should come work for me and do dinner theater on the Strip, and I'll pay you $75 a show." And blah 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 blah. And I was like, "Okay, that sounds good. Like, I want to make money, right?" So, and she was just like, "Oh, and if anyone asks how old you are, I just tell them that you're 21." And I was like, "Okay." So, I started doing these shows and being around, all these grown-ups and gross adult men all the time.
So was it in the Vegas showrooms?
Mm-hmm.
And was there any not nudity for you, but
No, there wasn't nudity on
nothing
these
at
particular
all.
shows.
Okay.
Yeah. So so I did that until like I was 17, and then I moved here. And looking back on it, I'm like, gross. That lady clearly just wanted someone that looked really, really young to be in these shows. You know what I mean?
So what did it involve? You
So
being
they were
on the
like
show?
these
I have
murder
no idea.
mysteries. They were like these murder mystery shows, except they were like done in Vegas showrooms. You know what I mean? So it's
Was
like,
there a theme?
yeah, there would be theme ones. Like there'd be like, you know, a 20s theme one, or like a, you know, there were different theme nights that they would do at the different hotels. You know what I
What
mean?
did
There'd be
you
like a
play?
Halloween, different roles that would change, but then you'd go down and like mingle with the audience. You know what I mean? So you had to be good at talking to people.
And they were in the Vegas show, the big Vegas showrooms.
No, not the big Vegas. Well, not like, wasn't like at the Coliseum. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that. But I mean, different ones would set up like, you know, showroom areas, or they'd set up big ballroom areas to do these shows in. You know
How
what I
many
mean?
people were in the show?
Like 10, around 10 of us.
Were there a lot of sets and costumes?
There were a lot of costumes, but not a lot of sets. It was not a lot goes into these murder mystery shows. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. I can't put together that little Abner and then like was it dinner theater?
No, they saw
No, she
her
saw me in the
doing
Little Abner at this other theater in Las
okay.
Vegas, and so that's where like this woman met me.
Okay.
I did go
I
see.
So I got that confused. My apologies.
Oh.
Yeah.
When I lived in Vegas, I did do Sopranos dinner theater.
Yeah, there's dinner theater
Murder
is
mystery.
very popular in
As
Las
an
Vegas.
actress?
No,
Just to go see.
Yeah.
Did you see the parrots?
What?
Yeah.
I was like Italiano.
Oh my God! Don't do that! Don't do that!
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. Until you're out in the wild with her.
Watch out, I'ma whack you.
Until you're out in the wild with her. I can't wait to see your New York trip next week.
I know it's
I
gonna
can't
be
wait.
crazy. She's
That's
like,
gonna be
"It's
me
gonna
in the
be-
city."
Yeah, yeah.
You were in the city.
No. I cannot wait to see her in New York City. And then I have a meeting, so we were all going to fly together, and now she has to go by herself with my son, and so he's
Woo!
18, but
He's
that's-
got it in for him.
Yeah, he's going to have to be like a CNI dog. She is going to
I
be.
still think I should get a fanny pack or something to hide my
Yeah,
stuff,
that's-
right?
That is a country
A
move
fanny
right there.
pack to hide your stuff. What
Out.
stuff?
What do you, don't you usually hide your shit in your bra? Like, why
I
you
can.
need it?
I mean, I can hide quite a bit, but I might want to carry more things when I'm in the
I
city.
think
you-
a fanny pack is a bad hiding spot. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
look,
Well-
it's right
Uh-oh.
here.
How much more shit are you going to carry around? You should see when she takes stuff out of her bra. Like, we had to share a room, right? It's like a fucking clown car. Like,
goes-
it's like,
She goes down a cup size.
yeah, I know.
Unloaded.
Yes.
Wow. What are you
Yeah.
keeping in there?
Vape juice, 2 vapes.
Vape juice.
All right. That's
Oh my
understandable.
God, that is some country shit right there. Your vape juice, 2 vapes and vape juice,
Yeah,
right?
and maybe my credit card if I need that. I have put change, any kind of change to get in there.
Mhm.
What's the crazy?
Chapstick.
What's the crazy? Does the chapstick melt? But I bet it glides on real smooth.
I bet
Because it's
it
right in
does.
the heat of your
Yeah,
body.
no, I
yeah.
see what you're saying, but it oddly never really melts out that much.
Uh-huh.
No. I put the
Weird.
room key in there.
Yeah. All right, there you go.
That makes sense.
Well, Rebecca, when it comes to your story, I can't imagine that your parents would allow a 14-year-old to go out at night.
Right. You
and
would
do all
certainly
that.
think so. I know. Alas, they did. And then after the shows, I would sit there at ballet with my little makeup case on a school night and wait for my mom to come pick me up.
Was it a caboodle?
It was a purple caboodle.
Did you drink?
No, because the lady in charge knew I was a fucking child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anyone supervising you there?
No, just the woman. The woman in charge who hired me was there.
Mhm. Why do you think she would want a 14-year-old? Were you playing young women?
Yes, I was
Uh-huh.
playing young women, so that's probably why.
Uh-huh. And did any of those icky old men ever hit on you?
Oh yeah, all the time, all
Uh-huh.
the time. And I was just like, whatever, I'm making money. You know what I mean?
This is what it's
Oh.
like to
This
be
is
an
what it's
adult.
like to be right. Exactly.
And you got to keep this money?
Yes.
Oh, how much
Hells
did you
yeah,
make? off a
$75
show?
bucks a show.
Wow.
And how
Under
many
the table?
Mm-hmm.
And how many shows would there be on a weekend?
I
mean,
wouldn't
on
do
a
it all the
week.
time. I would maybe do this like once a month whenever she would call me to do it, I would do it.
So it wasn't a consistent show
it
at a
wasn't
place
consistent money.
over a few years.
No, it would always change, like from hotels, you know.
What's the skeeviest place that you guys did the show in?
That's a great question. Oh, I'm sure somewhere downtown. Although downtown now is like way better than it used to be.
Oh no, downtown back in the day was terrible.
But it was
in
really
Vegas.
bad. Yeah, when I was growing up, like you would never go downtown for anything. So I'm sure I did a show at some downtown hotel, probably like who knows which one.
And would you have different lines or kind of the same? Would you play like the same asset on the show of? You know
I was always just like the pretty young girl, you know what I mean? And then but it would change, varies between shows and stuff like that.
Wow.
Were you into drugs and alcohol as a teenager or anything?
Not until I moved to LA.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you're like a big pothead now, right?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. For sure. But I mean, I grew up with like, Vegas is very Mormon. So it's like no one I went to high school with.
Vegas is Mormon?
So Mormon.
Are you
I lived with
serious?
some Mormons when I was there.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
It's super conservative. And now, I mean, it's the past 15 years, it's changed immensely because tons of people from California have moved there. So it's changed the demographic a lot. But growing up, it was very small, conservative Mormon, mostly Mormon community. So yeah.
Have you ever seen that reality show like with the My Three Wives or whatever? And he moves all
to Vegas.
Yeah, to Vegas to
Sister Wives. I love that.
Yeah, Sister Wives to get away from persecution in Utah.
Right, because Nevada is so loosey goosey with their laws. It's like the libertarian mecca of America.
Really?
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with this. But no. So I didn't do. But I moved here when I was 17. So then I was like drugs. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then by the time I was like 22, luckily I had done enough hard drugs where I was like, I don't want to die. So
wow.
And here we are.
That's a curious story.
I know.
I don't know.
That's what I was wondering because if she was more of a rebel, I feel like she would go out and do that behind her parents' back. And then the first story was obviously with her parents' blessing.
Right. Yeah, so if they let her do that at 8. 7. Then at 14, they let you do that. So one of those is the lie. So that's very curious. Very curious. All right. Do we have any questions? Any from you, Austin?
All checks out to me.
Really?
All of them. Every story that's been told today.
I'm very gullible, yes.
Yeah. So out of those two stories, which one seems more suspicious to you?
That one was a little more lackluster, no offense, than the first, because Telly Savalas, that's like, whoa, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I want the first one to be true really bad.
All right. All right. Okay, so we'll move on to your story.
Okay. This one happened recently. This was this Christmas/New Year's break.
Break? What are we in school?
Oh,
Jesus Christ! I haven't even started the fucking story, Jazz.
but I do have a question because did you say the last story happened recently too?
Yeah.
Within the last year, yeah.
That story happened within the last year about the tiger?
Yeah.
Oh,
the
it
Narnia
did.
tiger.
The Narnia
The
tiger.
Narnia has tigers too. Just because they don't show it on the movie.
But no one ever says Narnia. Oh, that tiger. No one ever.
Yeah, well, they will now.
Okay.
Everyone on the
Okay, fair
Comedy
enough.
Store Facebook page.
Okay. All 3 of them. Okay.
Oh, that was a good guess. Did you even know it was exactly 3?
At this
Oh, is
moment.
it?
Yeah, at
This
this
is-
moment. Sorry, I don't know. I was gonna say it, and I was like, that sounds bad if you say it. But then you said it, and it was dead on. Well
Okay,
done.
good. So go ahead. So it happened not to.
Yeah. So me and my girlfriend, we went to Joshua Tree to go camping. First night we try to camp. It's just
But you
freeze.
said break.
Yeah.
Break from what?
Work.
You work? You have a day job?
Yeah.
What is it?
Walk dogs.
You don't get like a break from walking
Yeah.
dogs. Like,
People who have dogs.
you just take it
Can
off.
we please let him finish his story?
We're down
Jessica?
to 2.
Yeah, I
Jesus
know,
Christ.
I know.
We're
Jazz.
actually up to 4.
Okay.
Snapples.
Welcome to the show. Okay, so you went on a break from work and you went to Joshua Tree.
Yes. Went on a
You
break.
said on break though, like it was like spring break.
It's a break.
Where you
It's
from?
suddenly I don't have to work for a chunk of time. That's a break.
So dogs just don't need to be walked during that time?
No, the owners don't have to work, so they don't need a walker.
Well, that makes sense. So where are you from, by the way?
I was born in Canada. Grew up
Oh,
in-
see, now that's why I was thinking that maybe that's a Canadian thing.
That
to
socialist
say.
mentality.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you said that. I thought, I wonder if you're
Okay.
Canadian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that was a
Right.
Canadian
We're
thing.
like, break? What are you talking about, break?
What do you call
Who
it?
do you think you are?
We work till we die.
Holiday?
Yes.
Well, you have vacation, or you might have vacation time. But the way you said it was like, oh, we're on spring break, or we're, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's similar. It's just not spring.
Yeah, but there's no dogs, and so who was working?
Can we move on now to the story,
but
Jessica?
That's actually the whole story.
Okay. Well, like I said, the simplest story is always the best. So continue your story.
Okay, so we try to go camping, right? First night, it's freezing cold. There's like some bros next to us. They're super loud, drinking all night. And we're just like, we can't do this another night. So cold. So we look on Airbnbs for the whole next day.
My apology. What time of year was it?
This was like Christmas break.
Okay. Are you clear, Jessica?
He said Christmas, New Year break.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's both
Yes.
together. Yeah.
I'm with you. Continue.
So we're looking for Airbnbs, right? And this is the desert. This is Joshua Tree. We couldn't find any of them in Joshua Tree. There's none available. It's
'Cause
a
it's-
very busy time.
Because it's Joshua Tree.
It's also Christmas break.
Yeah.
So very busy.
I'm not interrupting. Go continue.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's Christmas break. We Joshua Tree Airbnbs are filled up. Okay. Palm Springs, very expensive. Also mostly filled up. So we find this place, this town, Desert Hot Springs.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I've been there before, and I know it's not like a nice town. It's like a little.
But they have nice places there, like the Two Bunch Palms. Like there's a couple like sauna type resort.
Yeah,
type
no, I used
massage
to live
places.
near Flint, and there's a couple nice restaurants there.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, you can have nice places.
Okay. One of my favorite places is in that. Desert Hot Springs.
Do they have actual hot springs there?
They do, and that's where I know it from. You can go. There's this one place where it's like $5 for all you want. You can
All
just-
the springs.
All the
all the
springs you
springs you
can
want,
get.
all the springs you can absorb,
We have
all
we
the
have-
minerals you can handle.
We have cold springs in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Which is
Oh,
great
really?
when it's 96 and humid out, but
Yeah, they're
Wow.
beautiful.
That's wild.
Super clear.
It's like the Earth is like, hey,
here's a little break.
Yeah.
cool. So we find a place in Desert Hot Springs, right? And it's advertised as a room. That's all we could find. We wanted our own place, but it's just a room. And we start talking to the lady, and she's like, well, we're trying to like haggle with her, and she's like, well, you know what? I don't think there's going to be anyone else there the whole weekend, so you can just pay for the room price, and you'll basically have the whole thing to yourself. And we're like, okay, awesome. So we go there, spend a night there. It's fine. Go to Joshua Tree during the day. Come back later at night. I don't remember what we did every single day and every single night, but so the first night we get back, it's fine. We eat dinner, and then as we're shutting some of the lights off, we notice there's a light on in one of the rooms that wasn't on when we got there, and it wasn't on the night before. So it's like this new light that just turned on, and we're like, okay, that's a little creepy, but maybe we just didn't notice it before. But we both were like, I'm pretty sure that was off. And then they also have a hot tub outside, and it's a nice hot tub. It's a nice little house, and so we go one night. We go in the hot tub. We have some fun in the hot tub.
You shouldn't have sex in a hot tub.
Oh no.
I've heard that's not
Men
good for you.
can.
Men can,
Right,
but then
not
that would
women.
be rude to your lady.
Well, no, but we're like kind of out of it. Just like our feet were in it. If you really want to.
Okay.
Okay.
That helps. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And then, so the next day, and so these days are a little jumbled in my head. Days, what happened, the light, the hot tub, that stuff. It's not that important, but like the next day, we're sitting out there.
Okay.
We're sitting out there, and we look up, and we're sitting out by the hot tub, and we see like 4 cameras like pointing at the hot tub. We're like, oh shit.
Where at? What are you talking about? Where? Look up. Where were they? What were they on? Were they in the
They're on
windows?
the
What-
roof, like the ceiling.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, on the corner of the ceiling. They're pointing at the hot tub,
Of like the patio?
the patio. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
With you?
With me.
Mm-hmm.
So what'd you
Oh.
do? So then
Okay,
you were
so-
like, oh my God, they're
So that just like added to this
Right.
sense of unease. And there's also this like master bedroom that has a code on it, so it's been locked the whole time. And we're just like, we smoked a little weed, and now we're like getting paranoid, and we're like, what? It's just weird feeling. And there's like these pictures of this woman on the walls. It's like super basic looking pictures, just like whatever with like Target decorations that are super normal. But then she had like a skull in like the corner of the room, like a, I don't know, Mexican Day of the Dead type of thing.
Yeah, but those are pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. If you like skulls, yeah, and you do, so
Yeah.
it's great.
All right, so what happened?
So we noticed that, blah blah blah. So now it's New Year's
Uh-huh.
Eve, and we go to Palm Springs. We're like having fun. We're drinking. We get pretty saucy. We get an Uber there, and so we drink, and then we come back. I don't know, around like 11:45 p.m.
Oh, you didn't stay out at least till midnight on New Year's Eve?
No, we didn't. What?
Okay.
Why? I mean, we don't need to.
Well, a lot of people don't because it's better to drive home before the actual New Year's because after New Year's, everybody who's drunk drives home.
Yeah. There you go.
But they don't like drop a palm frond or something in Palm Springs to commemorate the midnight stroke that
they
y'all
might.
wanted to see?
They might, but we didn't stay, so I don't know.
All right.
So we get back, and we get back 11:45ish, and we start making some food in the kitchen, just like heating up some old food, and then midnight passes. We're like blah blah blah, Happy New Year, and then it's like 12:10 now, and all of a sudden we hear a knock at the door. It's like,
Like a knock?
a knock, like we're like, oh shit.
So glad you played that out. Thank you.
Yeah. No, but you got to hear it.
It was like a scream, like a.
Yeah, exactly. It was like a parrot. It was like, ah! Okay. So we hear a knock at the door, right? And so that just like cut through everything we were just doing. It's just like, okay, I'm not sure what to do. She's like starts walking straight to the door. I'm like, stop. What do you don't go there yet? Should we answer this door at all? And then finally I go and I look through like the peephole, and there's nothing there. There's no one there. Like, okay. The only thing it could have been, there's like a little wreath on the door, but there's just no way. It was like that's why I did the knock, because it was like perfect like knock,
Right. Not to be confused with a slap.
Not a slap, but it was like in rhythm like a knock. It wasn't like,
Look, there was a fucking knock at the door, Jessica, okay? Let's move along.
I'm glad you never became a detective.
I
God
know.
damn. Yeah, we've been working on this fucking DUI for 17 years. Jesus Christ.
Let the man tell his story.
So, we're pretty creeped out now. She goes around and shuts all the blinds. She doesn't want whatever
You
that
should have
was.
those clothes probably. I'll shut up.
Okay. So we do that, close all the blinds, and now we're just like, okay, maybe that was just the wreath, whatever. Let's just try to forget about it. 10 minutes later, same thing, knock at the door. We're like, oh shit. And then all of a sudden there's like a little knock at the window, like on the side of the house, and we're like, oh fuck. She's like, okay. I'm like, okay. She's like, I'm gonna call the cops. I'm like, okay, just call the cops. She calls the cops. They're like, we'll send someone out there. Do you want to talk to them? She's like, no, just have them come to the door if they find anything. And then she calls the Airbnb owner. Airbnb owner is like super chill. She's like, oh, okay, well, I know a cop. I'll send him there. Okay.
She knows a cop. She'll send him there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, on New Year's Eve, nobody's got anything going on, so that should be an easy call.
An easy call, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
I know
point,
a cop.
Austin.
No big deal.
Yeah. So the cops come. I'm like looking out all the windows, trying to find someone running around. I don't see anyone at any point. And then the cops come. They don't come in. They just look around. I guess they didn't see anything. And I just like grab like 3 butcher knives and like sit in the bed, and I put like a sound
After the
trap.
cops leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I put like a little jar next to our bedroom door with like quarters balanced around it, so if anyone like broke in or opened it, you could hear it. Pretty smart. And I just didn't go to sleep, and I just stayed up all night, and that's
And nothing happened. It wasn't a tiger, or it wasn't a.
Oh, that would have
So
been.
that's the
that would've been
story,
tight.
and
Tiger
nothing,
comes back.
Man.
nothing happened.
No. Just like, but something happened. Something happened. Oh, well, my girlfriend said the next morning she was outside and saw like a little girl on a scooter scooting by, and she's like, "Good morning." Like, I don't know. She said that it was suspicious, but
Yeah, but do you think a kid was on New Year's Eve out by herself?
no, I think it was dark desert magic.
Clearly.
Clearly.
God, you're such a bullshitter.
Well,
Well, that was a long story with no fucking ending. But hey, this is a game, right? And sometimes, as I have been known to say, a short story is a good tool in this game, but so is a long, meandering fucking story.
it would have been half the time if Justin.
No, you were filling stuff with details like, oh, there was a knock, and we were like, okay, and then I was like, okay, and then you were like, okay, and then there was a knock.
There were multiple knocks.
Okay, what's your question, Austin?
I've never been to Joshua Tree, so that's where
Yeah.
y'all are chilling mostly.
Yeah.
What happens like when you go in? Like, do you pay or anything?
Yeah,
get in?
you pay.
You do?
Yeah.
I'm not.
When was the government shutdown happened?
Oh, good
Austin.
question, Austin. But the government shutdown happened, I think, after Christmas, didn't it?
I think so.
You're the political mind.
Yeah, that's why I asked you. I
don't
figured you
know.
Yeah, I thought that was. I could be wrong, but for some reason I thought that was after.
But we
Christmas.
drove right into Joshua Tree during the day when I was there. Drove right in.
Yeah, like when you went to Joshua Tree to go camping, right? Because it was your
Mhm.
break. You wanted to go camping. Did you have tents?
We had tents.
Yeah. How come instead of finding all this and paying so much money to try to get an Airbnb at Christmas time and or New Year's, like why didn't you guys just go buy like warmer blankets or sleeping bags?
Yeah, she didn't. She wanted to stay in a place.
Right.
Yeah,
Does your girlfriend like to camp or?
she does, but she doesn't do it as much as me. She's not like a huge camper. So it was
So
cold. It was
she
cold.
doesn't. So she doesn't really.
Not that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Okay. So you made this poor girl go fucking camping.
She was down.
Yeah, yeah.
She was down.
How long have you guys been dating?
8 months.
8 months. Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Because a
wow.
year, when it gets
Okay.
to a year, she's like, "Fuck that! There's no way I'm gonna go camping." By the way, my dad used to live in 29 Palms, which is next to Joshua Tree, and it gets cold in the desert at night because that's the high
Very.
desert. It
Yeah.
gets
was
really
30.
cold. Yeah, it gets
Yeah.
really cold.
So you guys were only 4 months into your relationship, and you were going on this break.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 months. You do a lot of stupid stuff for a guy at 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much stuff did you have? Did you take with you?
I mean, how much stuff? Like, what kind of stuff?
Did you do all the packing for the trip? All the accoutrements, like sleeping bags, tent,
Yeah,
cooler?
I did most of that. Yeah.
And so what did you bring?
We brought a cooler, sleeping bags, blankets, pillows, clothes.
Were you sleeping on?
mat,
Did you have sleep? Yeah, that's what.
sleeping mat? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
pillows.
What kind of sleeping mats?
Ozark Trail.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Don McCracken chimed in on Facebook and said that
Oh, Don.
Trump was hiding at the White House over Christmas during the shutdown.
The shutdown was during
Oh.
Christmas.
That's what I'm led to believe if Don McCracken knows what he's talking about.
Sniggity, sniggity, snap.
I wouldn't
So-
trust Don McCracken.
Yeah, but when you where you were camping, that was a good question that Jessica brought up earlier about did you have to pay money to go into the park? Is because I thought you could just go anywhere in Joshua Tree, or is there a
No,
more
you gotta pay.
you got to pay? How much was it?
25 to get in. Get a parking
each?
pass.
Each?
No, for the car.
Uh-huh.
And then camping. I don't know if we actually paid. I think we did.
Is
I
there
think
like a segregated area for camping and parking. Is that why?
I doubt it's segregated.
Yeah, but did you see people vandalize anything? Because I do remember when the government shut down that they were vandals out in Joshua Tree or out there. Yeah, did you
No, we
see
didn't
any of that?
It wasn't shut down yet.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's curious because your first story is kind of short,
Yeah.
and this story is very meandering and long. Even though Jessica did interrupt, it was still a pretty long story.
Yeah, I don't know how long you wanted the stories to
You're
be.
right.
I think I messaged. It's okay.
No, but I'm just
You
saying.
didn't get the time frame?
It's fine.
I'm not. That it's a great story, but I'm
You
just
gave
saying
specific.
that it's a question of would you, when you tell a lie, tell a meandering story or more of a short
It's a good question.
story?
Right, get out of
Yeah,
it kind of
yeah.
thing, or I'm gonna milk this.
Right. So, for people that are just joining us, Austin is going to go quickly through the stories, and so that we can have a refresher, because sometimes you forget after you hear so many stories what is what. Can you please start
The
that, Austin?
Austin recap.
All right, Rebekah's story 1. She grew up in Sin City, and Kojak was there. Telly Savalas, he loved furniture, and he pimped it on TV. And she got to co-star with him and smell him, which was not an unpleasant experience because he kind of had that Vegas smoky perfume smell.
Cigar smell.
Cigar,
Uh-huh.
but it was unpaid, so sad face. Story 2, she grew up in Sin City, played Little Abner, and a mystery show lady thought, man, she would be perfect for the mystery show, but that lady might have had creepy intentions because she was 14 at the time. So, recap.
There you go.
And for Aaron's story 1, he's road tripping with Mike Sella in the last year or so and stumbles across an adult wild animal zoo. There's a super cool white Narnia tiger with bougie fur, and they're like, "What's up, tiger?" And tiger's cool. Well, there's a tiger in the back that gets so jealous and tackles the fence, which knocked a screw loose, leading to his eventual escape. They weren't there for the escape because they were cuddling back at the motel and watching the news. I did have one question about that, but it doesn't matter because I think the second story is a lie anyway. So
No, well, what's the
your
question?
question?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, because I was pretty sure when he started the story, you said that you went from Humboldt to Sacramento and then y'all were driving to the coast. And because I don't know,
No, he was
No.
saying he took that road that goes to
but
the
I don't know
coast.
my like.
No, it
California
would.
geography
Yeah,
well,
if you're in
but-
Sacramento, you would go west to Humboldt,
Okay.
west and north. I thought, but I
yeah, I
could,
don't.
I could
yeah,
be
That's what I
wrong.
thought. It was like
Yeah.
way north, so I wasn't really sure there. But anyway, so second story. Last Christmas break, he went with his GF to Joshua Tree during the government shutdown, but still paid somehow. And all the
I didn't say
Airbnbs,
during.
all the
You said Christmas break.
I didn't say during the
and,
shutdown.
and Don McCracken
I did
from
not say that.
Facebook
that's fair. He
says
didn't say during the shutdown, but Don McCracken, I'm pretty sure said it
Yo,
was.
Don
during the
McCracken
shutdown.
definitely said that, but I don't trust
But
Don
you were there
McCracken.
definitely over New Year's Eve from your
yeah,
story.
yeah.
I was.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's Christmas break.
But
Yeah, I was no longer in Joshua Tree. I was in Desert Hot Springs. But go ahead.
all right.
Yeah, but during that time you paid for
Oh, yeah, that's right.
government services like a parking ticket, right? For the parking, right? So, but I remember they shut it down and people vandalized it because it got shut
yeah,
down.
because they weren't working.
Yeah.
But
This is the time. We've only had one person bring in evidence. I wish you would have brought your parking ticket.
Why? I don't want you to get my. I don't want you to choose right.
He didn't think of the story until he got here. How could he do that? But no, that's what I mean. You were heading to Joshua Tree, but all the Airbnbs were booked
Yeah.
up around there. So then you went to Desert Hot Springs, where $5 gets you all the springs you can take. They get it on with their ankles in the hot tub and realize that they're on camera. And then on New Year's Eve, they
I have a problem too. I'm so sorry to interrupt
No
Austin, but the way he was like, and then we had sex in the hot tub, and Rebecca's like, "You had sex in the husband." She's all like, "The vaginas will melt in a hot tub," right? That's how I would do you if you were recapping the stories.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, "Well, our ankles were in it."
I don't talk like that.
He said our ankles were in it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
wouldn't your
I didn't-
girlfriend be freaked out? You saw all these cameras. You just would have left for
She's-
the night.
Well, no, she was freaked out, but we didn't leave. I was freaked out.
So if you had sex and you saw the cameras, weren't you like, where are these cameras going? Are we
Yeah.
on the camera?
Oh,
But
yeah.
you didn't bring up, did you look for anything to...
We
where
figured it was all in that locked room, and there was a mastermind creep out dude or someone.
And
in
you
there.
That's
didn't
what we
leave
like
it?
to call a dead end detail.
Right, and you
Mm.
didn't call.
He
the-
just made that up, by the way.
Did you call the Airbnb person on that
No.
and ask about the cameras? No,
No,
but
we
then
didn't.
you call and ask
Well,
about a
we didn't
knock?
want them. We didn't want to bring attention to the cameras at that point.
What? But you would bring it
because we had been
to a
on
knot.
we on film. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you can bone.
What's that?
You can smash.
Yeah, I
And
think.
Airbnb or whatever.
Are you
Like,
allowed to
what's-
do that outside?
And how do you, as Jessica say, smash next to a hot tub when only your feet are in the hot tub and you're smashing?
That was my question.
Okay.
Did I say feet? Did I say feet or did I say knees?
You said ankles.
actually.
Oh, now knees?
I don't know.
You guys were standing in the water up to your knees having sex in
I don't
the hot
remember. It
tub?
was like something close to that.
Were you standing or were you laying next to the hot tub?
It's like standing-ish, yeah. I don't want to go into too much detail.
Continue us.
That's pretty much it. Other than on New Year's Eve, they got saucy and go back to the Airbnb house or the house they were staying at, and then before midnight, Ghost played Ding Dong Ditch on them, and that was it.
You know what gets me is the detail about. And then the next morning, my girlfriend said there was a little girl driving or scooting menacingly by on her scooter. Maybe it was her. She got up at 2:00 in the morning and came and knocked on your door.
I wish it was her. I hope it was her.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's way
But you
creepier.
said she said. What did she say? She was like, "Good morning."
Yeah. Yeah.
He did say it like that.
That's how she said
That's
it.
because she was watching the cameras that were going on at the hot tub the night before.
Right.
They were probably
Could
her
be.
cameras.
Oh.
All right, so
Wow.
well, we have a game. We have a game, and so now we're going to make our decisions. It is if anybody is still on Facebook, if you want to chime in, who you think is what story is a lie, please let us know. And we're going to go to Rebekah. And as far as Rebekah's story, the Telly Savalas story, the timeline does kind of, I think, for me, work because around that time, I know when they had the satellite club at the Universal hotel, I think it was the Sheridan, that he, that was around that time. So he, so
So
That-
he was alive.
he was alive. That kind of makes sense age-wise for you, but then that little Abner thing, that's
Tricky,
weird.
tricky,
That's
tricky.
weird. And that your parents, did you tell your parents that she said, pretend you're 21, and your parents were like, all right, pretend you're 21 when you're 14 years old?
My dad would have been totally fine with that if I was making money.
Jesus.
No,
Yeah.
Are you serious?
yeah. I'm pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they take and you got to keep that money then?
Uh-huh.
All right. What do you think, Austin?
I'm totally going with the Kojak story being true because I just want that to be true.
Uh-huh. What do you think, Aaron?
I think Kojak is true. Yeah.
and Kojak and Cujo have nothing to do with each other.
That's correct, Jessica.
Just so everyone's clear.
What did you think that her first story was true, or
I was thinking that her first story would be true because it does kind of work out all the dates, but I think it's I think the other one is so.
She's also Jewish.
What does that have to do with anything, though, Jessica? No, I mean, like, why are you bringing that up?
I'm a horrible person.
So what do you mean? Like that's why their parents let her do that job and pretend she was 21,
Whatever
so she
it was,
could.
it's hilarious that was even something that was said.
Is that what you're getting
I
at?
bet it wasn't a compliment, however it was meant to be.
That should always be said up front.
I know.
Up front, just so we know.
What does that mean, though, Jessica? What are you trying to imply? Like, what the fuck, man? Anyway, it was a delicious meal. So your stories were
Jewish people know how to make a sandwich.
yes, they do.
They
Yes,
do.
they do.
And a fish salad. Okay, go ahead.
So your story was about the animal sanctuary / safari kind of thing where you could go see animals.
Yes.
And does anybody have any questions about that story about the tiger that went tiger?
Do you know? I've been watching this couple in Russia on YouTube a little bit,
Okay.
and they keep a puma
Oh
in
wow.
a studio apartment.
Is the puma Jewish, Jessica?
Are they Russian Jews?
So do you have any questions? Does anybody have any questions on Facebook or do you have any questions, Austin?
No, I don't have any questions at all.
Rebekah, any questions? Last minute questions?
No, not at this point.
Okay. Jessica? Although I'm in fear to ask, do you have any questions?
I think I'm clear. I mean, I don't know, but I can't think of a lot to ask for that second one. It just seems crazy that your girlfriend would stick around after seeing all those cameras.
Yeah.
You've only been together 4 months. She wouldn't have been freaked out and like, let's get out of here. This is creepy.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes sense. Yeah.
And you wouldn't call the lady about cameras and maybe somebody living in that room, but you call them about a knock.
Yeah.
Did you go knock on the door with the room that had the light on? Did you go knock on the door?
No.
So you guys would rather sleep in that house thinking maybe there could be someone in the other bedroom?
What if they open the door?
But then you're sleeping in that house.
Yeah, you're more worried about people that are on the outside of the house locked out and not worried about the people that might be inside the house. This is like a setup for a freaking haunted movie.
I know. It felt
He
like
lived it. He was there.
I mean, that's an idiotic move. Do you realize that?
Knocking
now?
on the door of
No,
the
dude,
killer?
That there might be somebody inside the house the whole time and you don't even care or go crazy about that. But somebody that knocks on the outside and is locked out of the house, you go silly and call the cops.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no one doing crazy things on the inside of the
You
house.
don't, but you think there's somebody in that room.
You know
Well,
what?
that was just paranoia. There probably wasn't. I'm just hyping up.
I think that we are being
I'm being rough
trolled.
on you, and I'm
I think
sorry.
you're trolling us. I think you came on our podcast to troll us in fucking person. I think this is some face-to-face fucking trolling
Girl,
going on here.
Shit.
Wow. What a turn.
What if I am?
I think the second, that's so tough. I think the second story is the lie. Oh, because of the government shutdown. With the Joshua Tree. Unless it was skirted it right before, but I don't think so. What
Did
about
they have somebody working at the Tiger place that took your money, or was it?
They took our money. Yeah, there was a person in the
Who was it?
cash.
What did they?
I don't know.
You don't remember what they
Jill.
look like?
Brown hair.
So you guys just left without saying to anybody there's a tiger
been a
might
Jew.
be loose?
What's that?
When you guys left, did you
No,
stop?
we ran. No, we didn't stop anywhere.
Uh-huh.
Did
Once
you
once a
scream
tiger.
anything? Oh shit! Fuck anything.
I think I said, "Oh shit." Mike.
God damn it!
Trolling us. Look at him. He's
What
like,
do you want me to do?
I can't read
Right?
him. I can't read him.
Totally.
Isn't this part of this? Is what you want, right?
Crazy.
I mean,
you want me to let you know which one's real?
the first story is like unbelievable. Like, oh yeah, surely they were
Uh-huh.
at a zoo where a tiger almost escaped. But the second one was just so all over the place.
Right.
Yep. It's all over the
But
place.
sometimes when you
Sometimes
remember
reality
things,
is-
because your second story was longer and a little bit all over the place, and that one was the truth.
That's very true.
See, look, he's doing it.
I can't help you, get
All right.
comfortable here.
I can't
Okay.
help
Oh my God, he might be the best player we've ever had, Jessica.
I know. I could see Mike Sella stopping and getting into some silly stuff with you. I could see that. Who was driving?
Mike, I think at that time.
It was his car.
And it was a year ago.
Yeah, it was his car. It was a year ago. Yeah.
What do you think, Austin? Did you already make your decision?
I didn't know. And Don McCracken says the tiger story is the truth, and Brett says that Aaron's first story is a lie. So the tiger story is a lie. I personally think the second one was way too all over the place to be the truth.
Yeah, but what if he just?
Yeah.
Just trying to gather
Yeah, and having sex with your feet in the hot tub.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
It's
goofy.
not even that it was all over the place. It's just like, none of the details really went with each other. The sex, but the ankles in the
Yeah,
hot
and
tub.
if I had sex
I didn't
with...
say I was good at telling stories.
No, it's all right. But if I was having sex on Christmas break, and even at 4 months into a fancy relationship, and I was having sex by the hot tub, and then afterwards I saw that there were cameras pointing at the hot tub,
It was like the next day that we saw that.
I know, but the next day I'd be like, we're the fuck out of here, right?
Totally.
Rebecca,
I would have been
right?
like, we're finding out who owns this place. We're calling the police.
Right.
I
And you
would've
already
been
think
like,
there's somebody inside the house.
Yeah.
That was like.
But you don't call the
Paranoia.
cops for that, or you
No,
don't
we
knock
didn't
on the
hear
door,
anything.
investigate.
We didn't hear,
That is so silly to me.
no.
Okay, I'm going to say the first story is a lie about the tigers. I think that maybe they went there, it was a little bit loose, but then he embellished quickly the rest of it. And I think the second story... Oh, fuck. All right, the tiger story is true. That's my answer. Jessica.
Well, I was leaning towards the tiger story being true. You suck, dude.
Brett said the tiger story was a lie.
Brett said that Aaron's first story is a lie.
Was it Brett correct about Rebecca?
Let me check 1 second.
No, he was not. He's
No.
shaking his head.
No, he was not. All right.
So-
The tiger story is true.
You
I
and I
remain the
were.
same.
I'm gonna say that stupid story where the killer was inside the house the whole time is true.
Cameras and the sex near the hot tub with only your feet in, and how do you do that?
Right, but he's a smooth talker. He was probably like, "Hey, baby, it's all right."
This motherfucker ain't a smooth talker. How do you take this meandering 30-minute story and be like, this motherfucker's a smooth talker? I would like to get booked on your show, though. Anyway.
Oh, if you do, you're getting heckled. Live
okay.
commentary.
It'd be
picking
a
apart
slow
your
heckle.
jokes.
Okay.
Be a slow heckle.
I'd be like, hey.
That's a lie.
Oh. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think
Rebecca.
the second one's
so what
true.
did you say? You said the second one's true?
Yeah, the Palm Springs.
So you said the tiger's true. You said the second one's true.
No, she
No, I said the tiger is true.
It's true.
Yeah,
So you-
tiger's true.
Tiger's true. Tiger's true. Brett says the tiger is not true. Don McCracken says the tiger is true.
The tiger, yeah.
Okay.
I am going to agree with Jessica and say the ding dong Joshua tree story must be true. I know it seems weird and there's holes in it, but for some reason there's something about it that I think is true.
Right, it seems like his whole persona.
Right.
I would say the only thing that would make me, having been married before or, with someone for a long time, is that men cannot plan a fucking vacation. So that part, I'm like, that I would almost say that's true. But I'm still going to stick with the tiger story.
Okay, Austin. What
He
was
said that he's into the tiger one.
Yeah.
okay.
So what's going on?
Austin was wrong.
Ah,
Tiger story, false.
We
You were wrong. She was wrong too. Don McCracken's wrong.
Damn
So
it,
did
Don.
you ever find out that there was somebody in the house?
No, we never knew.
Oh my god! I want to kill you guys.
We were never worried about. We knew like someone being in the house was like a paranoid thought. Knocks on the door is real. That's someone outside. That's real. Other shit is like scared paranoia.
Wow, I just can't imagine that you would be paranoid at an Airbnb that someone else is in a room that you wouldn't go check that. You would rather just live in your own paranoia than just give a quick knock and say, "What's up?"
Right.
That's so crazy.
Well, no, they said there's no one there.
I know, but that the
Yeah, but-
light was on all of a sudden.
Yeah, and then that little girl
think.
really came by and said, "Good morning."
Yeah, it's creepy. Yeah,
Wow.
and the tiger story is half true.
So
A
what?
tiger did lunge at us, and
Oh,
it was terrifying.
Like you said
But-
in the beginning, you thought,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it never escaped.
Yeah, I can't imagine you guys would just be, and we're out of here, not like go to
Yeah.
someone who immediately, like where you got the ticket and say, yeah, there's something going on before, as you're leaving.
right.
No, if that happened, I would just get the fuck out.
Really?
Oh, it's primal instinct.
Yeah.
When a tiger lunges at you, we almost did that, and even though he didn't break out,
Yeah.
we almost did that anyways. It's
Okay.
so scary.
This has been like a very interesting episode, very frustrating at the same time, but no, in like a really awesome way.
Yeah.
Because everybody has someone in their life that tells fucking lies. Everybody, like I have 2 huge liars in my family. And when people lie and you can't figure it out, it's very gaslighting, and you fucking gaslit us, and I love it. Those are great stories, and I do really want to get booked on your show. But
Me too. Ditto.
No, thank you guys so much for stopping by and coming and sharing your
Thank
stories
you.
with us. Where can people find you, or what do you guys have shaken, Aaron?
You can find me on Instagram at Weave Dreaming, Twitter at Aaron Weaver 4 A's, and my debut album Cosmic Joke is on iTunes, Spotify, all that. So
Nice.
holla.
Wonderful. And what about you, Rebekah?
All my social media stuff is at Rebekah Kochan. I spell my name weird. You'll never find me. And every Monday night, we're at the Secret Comedy Club on Melrose, which is a really fun show. And I'll be at Captain Brian's in May.
Wonderful. And what about you, Austin?
I'm the Austin Walker across the board, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're going to start putting out some really cool videos of our travels and cartoons and all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lock it up. Throw a thumb on it.
And we want to give a really wonderful shout out to FemFest at Sacramento. We just came back from that, and that was a great time. And thank you, Comedy Spot. And it was really cool to see a lot of women on the show, all women on the show doing improv, doing sketch, and doing stand-up like we do. And we did our podcast there, and it was just really a wonderful So if you're in Sacramento, go to the Comedy Spot and check it out. They have really fun shows there.
I started there, so.
Woohoo! Okay, there you go. Anyway, but I've been Felicia Michaels.
Did you say your social media?
Oh yeah, I've been Felicia Michaels, and you can follow me at Felicia Michaels. Jessica. All weekend I've had to fucking hear that. Go ahead.
I'm Jessica Wellington, and you can follow me at Jess Wellington 2 on everything. And you have been lied to.
Thank you, Don McCracken. Thank you.
You the man.